I was just filled in on, as we get to the football at 4, was literally just filled in on moments ago that the ACC may have leaked a few of their football schedule games. So we're going to do our best to bring those to you right away.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I have a Week 0 game for you.
Oh, let's go. So you know what? This is going under the
Week 0 ACC opener. ACC legend Stanford.
Oh, there you go.
At Hawaii.
All right.
But I do
ACC after dark.
Yeah, I assume that will be later. Week 1, I do have, I believe their entire schedule, so I can give you the triangle teams here. Week 1 college football schedule. I know it seems like the season just ended. We're already full steam ahead towards 2025. On Thursday, this is August 28th. Thursday, August 28th. ECU at North Carolina State.
All right, ECU at NC State. That's a Thursday night.
That is a Thursday night. We knew that game was going to be week 1 because they're kind of running it back from the bowl game. But that is Thursday. I believe it'll be the second ACC game played. I think that's logo for Wake Forest is Kennesaw State. So Kennesaw State at Wake Forest will be on Friday. That is so. Week 0, Stanford at Hawaii. Thursday of Week 1, ECU at NC State. That's on Thursday. And on Friday, Kennesaw State at Wake Forest. Saturday, obviously, will be a chock full of college football for Week 1. Looks like Fordham at Boston College. Oregon State at Cal, getting an old Pac-12 rivalry rolling.
There you go.
LSU at Clemson.
Nice.
Some pretender / not pretender things very early. Dabo versus Brian Kelly. What do you do there? Elon at Duke will also be Saturday. That is the 30th of August. Alabama at Florida State. That'll be a contender real quick. Find out if Florida State fixed everything they were dealing with. Georgia Tech at Colorado. These are some box office games. I knew the opponents. I didn't realize they were all going to be the same day.
Yeah.
EKU, what's that? Eastern Kentucky at Louisville. This is all on Saturday the 30th. That could be maybe Dartmouth at Pitt. I don't know what that stands for. That is a logo that I don't know. Looks like I'll have to figure that out. Another one at SMU. Little lion. Turns out I'm not very good with college football logos. Who would have guessed?
Look at you.
Syracuse versus Tennessee. And Coastal Carolina at Virginia. Those are the Saturday games. North Carolina fans, don't worry. You have your game coming up as well.
This is Labor Day weekend, folks.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. So again, Thursday, leading up to Labor Day weekend, East Carolina is at NC State.
And Kennesaw at Wake Forest is on Friday. Then there's Elon at Duke amongst many other ACC games on Saturday. That's the 30th of August. And then Sunday, the 31st, is Notre Dame at Miami. Virginia Tech versus South Carolina.
Okay.
That's on the Sunday. And then Monday, which is September 1st, TCU at North Carolina. That will be the Bill Belichick opener, and that will be on ESPN at 7:30. We do have a start time for that one. So 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, September 1st, TCU at Bill Belichick's Tar Heels.
Well, look at that. Bill Belichick gets Monday Night Football. This is going to be familiar for him. All right, guys, Monday Night Football primetime. This is nothing.
That is funny.
Doesn't have to deal with this Saturday nonsense. Put him on primetime Monday.
He's going to have like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
Can you just call me? Actually, they really weren't around on Monday night as much for Belichick. That is a heck of a Week 0 in Week 1. I don't know if the ACC is going to be good at football next year because every year is its own individual beast, and you kind of have to completely forget what you learned about a team last year because with the portal and everything else changing, it doesn't necessarily indicate they're going to be good or bad the following year. And if you don't believe me, look at the last 2 years of Florida State football, and that'll tell you how different one year can be from the next. You could be undefeated and should have been in the college football playoff one year, and the next year, maybe the worst power conference team in the country. Like, literally. So, which one of these games will feature the contenders? I don't know. But from a brand, fame, Q-score perspective, the ACC is not playing around in their non-conference schedule. ECU at NC State. You may be like, oh, it's just a non-conference, non-power conference. That is something that will capture the attention, at least of our region, right? That is.
Oh yeah.
There, if you throw the word rivalry out there, half people be mad at you, half people. There's a relationship there. There is something there.
With the fireworks that we had to end that bowl game, darn right there's a rivalry.
It's like when two people are obviously dating or hanging out or whatever you want to call it, and they deny it, and we're just like, we are in the same room with y'all, right? We see how you interact. You can say it's not a rivalry, but we see what's going on here. Kennesaw State at Wake, that one might not be as buzzy, but it is on a Friday of that weekend, so you won't have a ton of competition. Elon at Duke, another local one, and then the rest of the ACC. LSU at Clemson, Alabama at Florida State, Syracuse versus Tennessee. These are big games. Georgia Tech at Colorado. You're going to go to Deion Sanders the first time he doesn't have Shador as his head coach or as his quarterback as a college coach. Notre Dame at Miami, two of the top 15 teams in the country this year. Virginia Tech versus South Carolina. That's Frank Beamer's squad versus Shane Beamer.
Yeah. It's a family affair.
And then Monday, the Belichick debut, TCU at UNC.
Primetime on a Monday night.
We are going to have quite a bit of time to break down all these games, but I guarantee you one of the things that I will be saying leading into that week is the ACC has to show out in the games that everybody is watching, because how you play Clemson versus LSU is going to be referenced every time someone plays Clemson in the ACC schedule. How Notre Dame plays at Miami, right? Every single time Miami is beaten or beats somebody else, they're going to go, well, Miami is a really good team, so losing to them, it's not quite as bad. If you want to get the Big Ten or SEC boost, you got to play really well against the Big Ten or SEC or Notre Dame Independent. Right? If Virginia Tech beats South Carolina, for the rest of the year, we'll be sitting there going, the SEC's not better. Virginia Tech beat South Carolina. Remember that? It was on week 1. It was on Sunday. It will be a whole thing. Like, you need to show out in those games.
By the way, tomorrow we will get the first ACC game for all 17 schools.
Okay.
So we'll get the ACC, again, the ACC opener for all 17 schools tomorrow. Then we'll get the full schedule on Monday. Monday night, actually, is when they're going to reveal the full schedule.
This is just a media conversation real quick. I'm sure they've done studies or whatever to learn that, like, leaking them out one drip at a time is better, right? Because now you get us to talk about it today, tomorrow, and Monday, and Tuesday. I would very much appreciate it if you just had, like, one, you could be an hour, 2 hour, whatever, announcement show and just let it go. Treat it like a selection Sunday. I don't want to get one piece, one kernel, one little Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb to lead me to a schedule.
We know that the networks, by the networks I mean ACC's deal with Disney, they have a factor into all of this.
Yep.
They're not dumb when it comes to, hey, let's put Bill Belichick in his first game on a primetime Monday night when there's zero competition, because everyone's going to tune in and watch. Hey, ESPN, Monday night before the NFL season kicks off, let's put Bill Belichick there. There's going to be a ton of buzz around that game. Trust me, ESPN knows what they're doing. Do not be shocked if Carolina gets a ton of primetime games this season. I'm talking
sure.
Noon kickoff on ABC, the primetime night game, ESPN, all that stuff. Game day. I mean, they're going to get a ton of that.
If they beat TCU, they might be game day like week 2, because ESPN and ABC won't want to give them time to turn into a pumpkin if they are going to turn into a pumpkin, and they want to have game day there.
Cash in while you can.
We don't have to go into all of it, but there is always corporate influence on all of it. The Virginia Tech South Carolina game on Sunday, if you click on the ACC graphic and zoom in, 2025 Aflac kickoff game in Atlanta. Syracuse versus Tennessee, 2025 Aflac kickoff game in Atlanta. Notre Dame at Miami on ABC, 7:30 p.m. Sunday. Like, it's always going to be there. What we need is to make the ACC more desirable as a whole for those games, because ratings, money follows eyeballs and networks, and it's all there. You know how it goes.